Welcome back to She Rises Daily, Emerging You in 10. I'm your host, Doc Shelley, here to bring you your daily dose of inspiration, empowerment, and growth. How many times have you wished for a sign, a guarantee, a confirmation, a crystal clear answer that tells you exactly what to do next? Most of us want certainty before we trust ourselves. We want proof that we are making the right decision, proof that we will succeed, proof that things will work out. What if that's backwards? What if self-trust isn't something that comes after the evidence? What if self-trust is what allows you to move forward before the evidence arrives? Most people mistake certainty for self-trust. Many people believe they trust themselves because they feel confident when things are clear. That is not self-trust. That is certainty. Self-trust becomes visible when things are unclear, when there are multiple options, when there are risks, when there are no guarantees. Anyone can move forward when the outcome is obvious. Self-trust is what allows you to move forward when the outcome isn't obvious. Self-trust is not believing you'll always be right. This is probably one of the biggest misconceptions. Self-trust doesn't mean believing you'll make perfect decisions. It doesn't mean you will never make mistakes. It doesn't mean every choice will lead you exactly where you hoped you'd go. Self-trust means believing that no matter what happens, you're going to handle it. You will learn, you will adjust, you will recover, you'll find your way forward. The trust isn't in the outcome. The trust is in yourself. Several months ago, a friend of mine said to me, "You're always self-confident when you make your decisions." How do you do that? How do you know? And I laughed and I said, it's funny to me how many people have said to me how confident I am. And yes, I do carry confidence, but that comes through the trust I have in myself. I know that I will always figure it out. I know I don't have all the answers. I know that I'm smart. I know that I'm intelligent. I know that I'm resilient, and I know I'll figure it out. Here's kind of a silly example. A few months ago, I stood in a store staring at two nearly identical products. Not a life-changing decision, not a major crossroads by any mean, just one of those simple daily life choices that should have taken 30 seconds. Instead, I found myself doing what probably many of us do, researching, comparing, reading reviews, checking one more thing, then another and another. And at some point, I caught myself and literally laughed out loud because this wasn't really about the product anymore. It was about wanting some level of certainty. I wanted proof that I could not make the wrong choice. And suddenly, I realized how often we do this in bigger areas of life. We delay making decisions. We gather more information. We seek more opinions, not because we need them. We do it because we're trying to eliminate the possibility of regret. Eventually, I just picked the product and I moved on with my day. And you know what happened? My life continued because the real skill wasn't choosing perfectly. The real skill was trusting myself enough to make the choice. Waiting for proof often delays the very growth you are seeking. There are moments when more information is helpful, and there are also moments when more information becomes a substitute for courage. You don't need 10 more opinions. You don't need another month of analysis. You don't need absolute certainty. Sometimes what you need is to take the next step, because confidence is often built through action, not before it. Self-trust is a relationship. Think about any strong relationship you have in your life. Trust wasn't built in one moment. It was built over time. Trust was built through experience. Trust was built through consistency. It was built through showing up. The same is true with yourself. Every time you make a decision, you learn from it and continue forward, you are strengthening that relationship of self-trust. Every time you stop outsourcing your wisdom and you start listening to yourself, your trust in yourself grows. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens little by little. Here's your reflection question. Where in your life are you waiting for proof before you're willing to trust yourself? And your power thought. Self-trust is not knowing that everything will work out. It's knowing that you will. The truth is, there will always be things that you cannot know in advance. There will always be unanswered questions. There will always be risks. The goal is not to eliminate the uncertainty. The goal is to stop requiring certainty before you believe in yourself, because the people who move forward aren't always the people with the most answers. They're often the people who trust themselves enough to take the next step anyway. This week, identify one decision you've been postponing because you're waiting for more certainty. And then ask yourself, do I really need more information, or do I need more trust in myself? See what happens when you take one small step forward. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of She Rises Daily, Emerging You in 10. Until next time, remember, you don't have to predict every outcome to move forward with confidence. Trust isn't built by avoiding mistakes. It's built by learning that no matter what happens, you have the wisdom, you have the resilience, and you have the strength to handle whatever comes next.